Hi, this is Mrs. Nagayama, and this is a recording to help you with quiz 3.22. Please review sections 3.20, 3.21, and 3.22 before taking this quiz. The quiz topics today will be what are genes, what is mitosis, and what is cytokinesis. So let's start off with the first question. What are genes? Genes are sections of DNA that code for traits. So you see that this long strand of DNA is made up of 3 particular genes. Each section codes for certain things. So we have hair color on the left, eye color in the middle, and hair texture on the right. So here's a sample question. DNA exists in long strands. Segments of those strands code for specific proteins or parts of proteins. What are those segments of DNA called? Are they called genes, gametes, centromeres, or chromatids? We see that genes are sections of DNA that code for traits. So the sections of DNA are called genes. Therefore, the best answer for this one would be A, genes. The next topic we'll go over is what is mitosis? So mitosis is the process of a nucleus splitting to form 2 identical nuclei. When we want to make new identical cells, we need to replicate the nucleus first. So you see on the left, at first the cell only has 1 nucleus, and by the end, it'll have 2 nuclei. This is a process called mitosis. What are the stages of mitosis? One easy way to remember this would be PMAT. P stands for prophase, which you see on the left. Prophase is when the cell is preparing for the nuclei to split. So you see the nucleus membrane breaking down. You see the chromosomes condensing a little bit more. This is all in preparation for the nuclei to split. P for prepare and also for prophase. The next step is M for metaphase. Metaphase is when all the DNA lines up in the middle of the cell. So I also remember M is for metaphase, but it's also for middle, where DNA lines up in the middle. The next phase is anaphase, A for anaphase, and that's when the DNA splits and moves away from one another. A for away and also for anaphase. They were once in the middle, but now they are split into 2 and going in opposite directions away from each other. The last step is T, which is telophase, and that's when the nucleus splits and tears away from one another. The end product would be 2 identical cells with identical DNA inside. So here's the next sample question. What process does a cell go through to divide its nucleus to form 2 identical nuclei? So what process does a cell go through to divide its nucleus to form 2 identical nuclei? Is it A, growth, B, mitosis, C, replication, or D, reproduction? Mitosis is the process when nucleus splits to form 2 identical nuclei. So the best answer for this one would be B, mitosis. Again, remember mitosis is not forming 2 separate cells, it's forming 2 identical nuclei. Cytokinesis is the next process we're going to talk about. This happens after mitosis. Remember, mitosis is the splitting of nuclei, making 2 nuclei. Cytokinesis is when the cytoplasm of a cell splits into 2. So if you look at the picture on the bottom, all of that blue space is actually the cytoplasm. So we pinch it in the middle to form 2 cells. This is what we call cytokinesis. This pinching forms a cleavage, which allows the cell that was once 1 split into 2. So here's another sample question. After mitosis in animals, cytokinesis takes place. What happens during cytokinesis? A, the cell's DNA makes a copy of itself. The chromosomes line up in the middle of the cell. The chromatids break apart. Or D, the cell membrane pinches in to form 2 new cells. So we see here, when we looked at the slide about cytokinesis, the cell membrane pinches in the middle to form 2 new cells. So the best answer for this one would be D, the cell membrane pinches in to form 2 new cells. So that's it for the review for quiz 3.22. If you need additional resources, please email me. Just like I always remind you guys, please take the quiz as many times as you need to until you reach a 60% or better because that's a passing grade in the class.